Go. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, I saw you commented. I just put up a pic of my daughter because I just looked up and
Oh my gosh.
she was 6 months already.
Everything.
She's 6 months already, and it's a problem.
Is it going fast already for you?
No, it really because I didn't necessarily realize it until I was on like some work call and somebody asked me like like how's the baby doing? I'm like she's good, and she's just like how old is she now? And I was like oh snap, she's 6 months. Like,
You know what? Because I'm not the one doing the raising, I'm like, it's going fast for me.
no,
I'm not
it's
the one
no,
getting up in the middle of the night and stuff, though, I guess.
it's and I know you can attest to this, but like for me, sometimes parenthood seems like a blink of an eye and super long at the same time
Absolutely.
because because
It is your longest journey and your shortest journey.
um like her first 2 months she had colic really bad.
Oh,
She was just yelling just all day long, and that at that moment it felt like forever. But then even
right.
now, that was like 4 months ago, so it's just like, so it wasn't that, that it's been longer that it hasn't happened than the time that it was happening. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's already just like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now she's
Well,
half a year old already.
she's adorable. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Elsie's baby. He had a baby 6 months ago who
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
just adorable. Those eyes. Oh my gosh.
But it's because since I have bigger kids now, it's like it took some time to readjust to baby stuff again.
Yeah.
Like I forgot that they need so much crap. Like
Well, let me ask you this: Is they always say that it's different with girls and dads and boys and dads? Do you feel differently have be with the daughter?
in terms of like the day-to-day parent stuff, not really, because like a baby is a baby is a baby. I think it's more at this point in time, I feel like it's more like of a philosophical thing, like, oh God, like I have a girl, like I hope she doesn't, like, what it's made me do is kind of like analyze, and I've done this for my boys too, where I don't want them to pick up on maybe like some of the bad traits that I might have had when I was like a teenager, something like that. Because like my oldest son, he's only 3 years away from being a teenager, so I'm just like, man, when I was your age, I was a supreme knucklehead. And granted, he's not that, but it's kind of like I don't want them to necessarily follow any of like the bad traits that I might have had at that age. And so now when I look at her, I'm just like, oh God, I hope you don't meet me circa
Yeah.
circa like who like the version of me, like somebody who's like a version of me circa like the 90s or something like that. Cause like that dude might not have been too cool. So,
Yeah, men are always scared that their daughters are going to meet and date somebody like them. Like, it's going to be like payback, like karma for real.
because you know what it is. It's just like I'm not gonna pretend like I was like the worst guy on the earth or anything. But everybody, male or female, I feel like everybody has certain traits that they know that at the time might not have been, the coolest. Because I know like my wife talks about it all the time. Like when she was a teenager, she was kind of an asshole to her mother, like because it was just
Oh,
like.
I was horrible. Yeah.
So I make fun of her now. I was just like, yo, look, I told my wife straight. I was like, look, when she turns 12 years old and she starts to hate you, I'm gonna gang up on her. I'm gonna gang up on you with her. Just like, yup, mommy's bugging, mommy's tripping. You know what you
He
wanted.
tripping, right?
You wanted the daughter, right? So here it comes with the here comes the mess with the daughter.
Yeah, I just have two sons, and I think that having raising a daughter for me would be the really rewarding because I would love to have that bond like I had with my mom. But I'm definitely a boy mom. I'm just definitely a boy mom. I just roll with them. I was a tom. People don't realize. Well, I think people are starting to pick it up. I'm a tomboy, right? And so I can roll out in the woods. I can roll with sports. I can just my son and I to this day wrestle. I've had to remind him like, okay, slow down, Tuffy. You are 6'2" and young. But yeah, I'm definitely a boy mom. Although I love the girls. I love the girls, and they know that one of them must give me a granddaughter, or they're written out the will.
Like I don't know if they're just busier than I was or anything like that, but my sons are like walking property damage. Like they just it's just like they just enter a room and shit magically breaks. And it's just like, God damn it, like
If y'all were to come to my home right now, the only place that there are lamps are in the master bedroom. There's not a lamp in this house because they would break them all the damn time. There would be the thing they'd be running by, lamp would get, and after replacing them a few times, I was like, okay, we just don't have lamps. So yeah.
I give you a prime example. So um when we moved to our new apartment, we were gonna get just like new, a new dresser, new, chest feel for them and whatnot. And my mom was like, "No, you don't need to do that. You still got your dresser. You got your two dressers here that work fine, like these real wood, dressers where
A few times I was like, okay, we just don't.
craftsmanship and like of course like the handles are gold and yada yada yada. So it's a nice thing. It's just like yeah, like you could just give that to them." Mind you, they were in pristine condition my entire life. A new dresser, new, they for them and are broken apart now. Like the handles are missing. Like they're chipping off. The wood is starting to chip off, and I'm just like, I have that thing for a decade plus. Like of course, like and somehow you guys have managed to break this thing. And like I said, they're just walking property damage. They just ruined everything. It's like, guys, I actually like that dresser. Like,
No, I tell people don't buy anything that you really like until they get older. Like, don't even waste your money. Don't try to be cute. Just don't waste your money.
I'm learning that the hard way because all my
Yeah.
stuff, like, because one of the things that I did too, or that I showed on, because I have a separate like Instagram page for music related stuff, and I had a laptop that I made like a lot of beats on and what have you. And for a period of time, like even though like I use a different laptop now, I showed them that there's like a big X like in the screen, like it's like purple. And it's just because like literally like my youngest son was like sitting and standing on my laptop. And I'm just like, you
Yeah.
guys, like,
Yeah.
so you just doesn't matter how much I pay for this.
And they don't. They do not. They give no
You
damn.
stand
Like
the five
kids give no
seconds,
damns.
oh, it's
Especially
done.
me. Okay, so you just said music and your music stuff and your music page. Can we talk about it?
We can.
You have some big news, which just blows me away because you're like all like have the whole 9 to 5 conservative, corny job and
Yeah.
stuff, and just had a baby, and then like this week you're like, yeah, my album dropped. I'm like, what? Do
Yeah,
you
so
sleep?
like it's funny that which by the way, as promotion, everybody, what you guys can do is any streaming service that exists. So pick your Apple Musics, your Titles, your Spotify's, even on YouTube, your Pandora's, Google Play, even what have you. Like you can go anywhere, or you can buy it directly from iTunes. El Charlemagne is the name, and then the name of the album is Mastermind. You can find it anyway. I literally just put it out yesterday. And to your point, yeah, I don't sleep very often.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, Elsie, it's funny. So one of my friends who listens to us, when we upload to YouTube, was saying to me, she was like, I just love you and LC. Like, I love y'all's banter. And I was like, we've never met face to face. She's like, there's no way, that's bullshit. Like, y'all just roll. I was like, never. I was like, he's family, I feel like, but we've never met face to face.
Absolutely.
And I was like, but there's a whole bunch of things that we connect on. And I was like, one of the things is that we both have these like professional 9 to 5 jobs, right? That we do, but we've never let our dreams go, right? We still are like going in the direction of our dreams, like Randy B and uniting Black people and educating us. Like that's my dream. That's my mission in life, I feel. But unfortunately, Randy B does not make me one dime. So I have to do things that pay the bills, right? And it's very related in a way, but you're still chasing that dream. So I love the fact that you are like professional, taking care of your family, making your family bigger, and you did this album. I'm so impressed and inspired, and I love people like that. Y'all, people like you get just keep me going.
Thank you. Yeah, because I very much appreciate it. Like the fact of the matter is, like, to the point that you're making, like, the dream is who you really are.
The dream is
Like,
who you are.
so, because, like, as like a brief history lesson, um, I was in a band in college. From in college to about a year or two after college, we ended up breaking up, not because of like bitterness, but the same thing. Everybody was just like, "Oh shit, we're adults. We have jobs. We got to figure this thing out." So everybody started moving in their mutual directions. But I just knew innately that if this job trajectory was the only thing that I did, I would never be 100% fulfilled.
Right.
And there was a
Right.
period, and to be fair, there was a period of time where I stopped doing music because I felt like, I got these responsibilities and I got this and I got that. I can't do it. I can't do it. It was actually my wife. Like, my wife put it to me like this. She was like, "Look, I have to live with you forever, right? So I don't need a cantankerous, moping husband around the house because he's not doing the things that fulfill him." So she was like, "You might as well still do the things that make you happy, because then it's overall better for you. It's overall better for us, because, like, you're in a better mood, we're in a better mood, everybody's in a better mood. So just go on
But
ahead
look,
and do it."
you have the dopest wife ever. Like, let's just say this. So already I just told y'all we didn't meet face to face. So she's got this strange woman calling her husband, you know, hey, we got, she knows nothing about me, right? And we're just sitting talking and playing and I'm sure you've read some of Elsie's pieces. He's a great writer. We having this, and she's just like, "What's up?" Like friendly, open, not suspicious. She trusted me, because a lot of people would have been like, "Now, who the hell is this? And what the hell does she want? And why the hell?" And she very much advocates for your happy and you doing that. And y'all, we need to do that for each other. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say, because even further than that, because the blog, for example, is through the blog is how I met you. You found, one of my pieces, and then we
Mhm.
built up a rapport from there. I started the blog because of her too, because it was during that period of time where I wasn't doing music anymore. Like, I didn't necessarily have a creative outlet.
Right.
And then she was just like, "All right, look, I don't know what you're doing with the music right now. Like, because I'm very much like an artsy guy, in the sense that there was a period of time where I thought I was gonna make a rock album or something like that. Like, I go through phases like that, right? So
Right.
she's like, "Listen, while you figure that part out, if you still need a creative outlet, why don't you start a blog? Because, like, you're a very opinionated person, and go do that." Right. So I was just like, I literally made it up on a whim, and then fast forward to, like, so, like, literally all this stuff happens because she allows it to
But
happen.
see, not she doesn't just allow it though. She pushes it, and she really is seeking you to make yourself happy, right? And not making it where your happiness is defined in the two of you. And I believe that those are the best relationships. Like, whatever it is that makes you happy, I want that for you. Whatever that looks like, I want that for you, and I'm going to support you, and I want to do what makes me happy, and then we come together as two happy people, and not seeking happiness just in that one other person. And pushing people, like, if you love to do something. And it's funny because I meet people and it's like they want to, you know, take away what makes people the happiest. And I'm like, if that person loves, to smoke a cigar on Saturdays, let that man, after he's worked all week, smoke a cigar and play golf or whatever it is. Cause we're all looking for that happy. So that's dope. Cause I'll say this. And the fact that we were filming right after you guys had a baby, right after you guys
Yeah.
had Zara, is crazy. See, a
Yeah.
lot of moms would have been like, let me tell you one thing, you need to come get this baby, or you need to come get these sons of yours. But I had this baby. We ain't got time for you to be on there talking to Randy's crazy self.
Right. And it definitely, because obviously it goes both ways as well, which, shameless plug. They're not up and running yet, but my wife and her friend Lana are starting a podcast called Locked and Lit, which will be, discussing, Black women's issues, but then also mostly literature, because like my wife is a voracious reader. So they're going to be studying literature, both her and her friend. Where they get the Locked and Lit from is because they also both have dreadlocks. So it's talking about Black women's issues, mostly
Oh, I
literature.
can't wait to tell. I can't wait to tune in.
It's not up yet, but it's coming. So that's
Right.
the thing. Like, I was, one of the main people that pushed her to do that too, because I know how much she, reads as well. And because even though she's a lawyer, if she wasn't a lawyer, she would 100% be like a history teacher somewhere or something. So, so yeah, no, it's the only way that it's the only way that I think people can continue to progress forward. Because even though they're no longer necessarily couple goals, but I know Will Smith and Jada love to talk about you can't find your happiness 100% in your spouse. That's actually true. You can't like
You
you like
can't. In
nobody
anybody, in your kids, in
right.
anything, you got to find it from yourself. You have
Right.
to.
Absolutely. So it's like and that's I think a problem that a lot of people do is like they just give up on anything that brings them any remote happiness because they think I just need to be doing just this. And I fell victim to that at one point in time.
I
But
think
then
we
I
all do. I think that we have this idea of what adulting looks like, right? It's
absolutely,
like I was telling you last night when I'm with my girls for my virtual kickoff birthday, right? We laughed because I said, I just expected 50 to look totally different. I didn't expect us to be drunk and slurring our words on a Zoom call. Like I just didn't think that this was going to be us because I thought adulting, we would just have it together. And we don't. We're all still trying to figure out what makes us happy. We're all still trying to get rid of what doesn't make us happy. We're all still just, figuring ourselves out. Like it's all still where we were when we met when we were 17 years old in Tuskegee, Alabama. Like we're still those same people, you know, a little bit older, but the same thing. So yeah, y'all, all y'all who are tuning in right now, make sure you, if you've lost it, rediscover what makes you happy. Like just your thing that makes you happy, whether it be reading or riding bikes or sewing or crochet or I don't know, skiing or whatever it is. Like you have to find something because work and home is I don't
it,
think it's gonna
it'll drive you
it's not
crazy.
gonna get
It'll
it.
drive you crazy if you just stick to those things. And on top of that, if there was something that used to bring you joy and it doesn't anymore, find something else. It's
Leave
fine.
it
It's fine.
alone.
You need like you honestly you need something because to further a point that you just made, I think you were talking about we all have an idea of what we think adulting looks like. That's 100% a fact because like I look back, for example, like my parents, and like you just look at them as like, oh yeah, they're my parents, they're these people. Then you get to a certain age, you realize like, no, he's just a dude. Like,
It's just some yeah. They're
he's
just
just,
some flawed people just like me.
and it's the same way now because like for me, like yes, I am a husband, I am a father, I am these things, but I don't necessarily feel different.
No.
Like I just have certain responsibilities that I need to take care of. But me as a person, I don't feel like a different human being. Like that like the things that I thought were funny 10 years ago are probably still funny to me now.
Right.
And of course we all grow, but I think we all think by the time I'm this, I need to be this, and et cetera, et cetera. Just like no, like for example, like I used to think that my career would be a certain way by the time I was in my mid to late 20s, and that was not the case. Like, but not only is it was not the case, by the time I was like 28, I had gotten like laid off, and I was like, "Fuck, like, what am I gonna do?"
Right.
Like I thought I was gonna be X, Y, Z by then, but then like it wasn't a straight. I'm where career wise I'm kind of where I want to be now, but it definitely wasn't a straight linear path to get there. Like it was
Right.
definitely bumps along the road where I was like, all right, I didn't anticipate that happening.
Well, and it's funny because I think because I'm kind of I don't know if it's a Sagittarius in me or what, but I am not a planner. I like life. I'm just kind of like exploring in a way, and just have this natural curiosity. So some of my friends get sad because they were like, "Oh, I thought I'd be married by this age and I'd have kids by this age, and I'd be," and I never had any of that. Like I never had those things. So I think that does help me with like feeling sad because I'm always like, well, I mean, I did think adulthood would look a certain way, but I don't know if I have like when people even now if someone were to say where are you going to be 5 years from now, like I don't know, like I literally have no idea. I mean it's hard for me to imagine. I mean right now I know I would like for Randy B to be on a different level and I really just like working within our community a lot. I'm gonna say it that diplomatically, like say it like that. But okay, we got to get off of us and talk about what's going on. I have one question that I want to ask you. Now that the vaccine would probably be coming out next week, like available,
Mhm.
when you are able to take it, will you take the vaccine?
It's funny. I saw somebody mention it in the first live that we put up before I had to.
Yeah, that's what I was doing small talk while I waited for you.
I saw like I heard people, but somebody left a comment in there saying I don't even use first generation Apple products, and that's kind of how I feel. My thing is I am not a. Let's be clear, LC is not an anti-vaxxer, not at all.
Right.
Definitely. I just don't trust the first generation of anything. Like I don't trust the first generation of anything. I need to see what the ramifications are before I give it, any of my attention. And the thing is, as messed up as it sounds, probably the first people who are really going to have to take it are the people we've relied on the most through all of this, like the first responders, the people
Yeah.
like the cops, the nurses, the firefighters. They're going to be the ones or the people working in stores, like they're going to be the ones that are going to be the first on the line taking this. And it's sad to say, I'm going to be looking at them like, hey man, you guys
How
feeling?
you doing? How you doing?
You cool? You cool?
You feeling
You
all
don't,
right?
you don't have a third arm yet? All right, just make it.
You going fur or anything?
But the reason why I'm even outside of the fact that in general I'm not like the first generation guy. I just need to see how this works out. But it's also because given all the rhetoric that has been happening throughout the course of the year, and then how fast we got to this point, I don't know how much I can trust that it's 100% science and not a political agenda too. Because what I mean by that is when Trump got the virus and then went to Walter Reed and then he came out and then said, "Hey, I took this thing that made me feel better," and then literally the next week the FDA was like, "Yeah, like we approve this exact same thing that Trump said," and it's just that like that very well could be the case. The timing looks very weird to me that all of a sudden, because no, this wasn't on anybody's radar like that, or at least publicly, it wasn't on anybody's radar. Then about a week after the president says it, when he was the main one guaranteeing I'll have a vaccine before the election, then now all of a sudden the FDA is basically saying, yeah, we can go ahead and use this thing. And then now a week or two, maybe three after the election does happen, oh yeah, we got this thing that's about 95%. Then we also got this other thing that's about 94%. It's just like, really? When did all this occur?
When did all this go down?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
did all this happen? Now, I'm not saying that we know exactly what scientists are doing all the time. It's just the timing of it is very fishy to me that all of a sudden, three things that people haven't heard about before, now all of a sudden they're, yeah, we're good to start moving. It's like, yo, you guys want to take it? It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's just make sure that, what you guys are saying. Because I remember at the beginning of the year when Dr. Fauci was like, we're looking at about 18 months. 18 months brings us to midway through next year. So you mean before 2020 is over, now all of a sudden y'all got 2 to 3 different options? Come on.
Right. Well, yeah. It's funny because I've been reading a lot of stuff and some people are like, why in particular Black people are saying they're not going to get the shot. And that's so striking to me. It goes like to America's way of forgetting the past. Like, let's just wipe away the past. Like, are the health in America and the Black people, from the Tuskegee experience to Henrietta Lacks to, I mean, our bodies have been used and been experimented upon. We know, even if you're looking at COVID in the way that the healthcare that we've received, we know from the statistics that we don't get pain medication as quickly. I'm talking about for all. We don't get
Yep.
cared for as well by the health system. So
Right.
it is a racist, is an institution that is, wrecked with, systemic racism. Why the hell would people expect us to be like, oh yeah, we believe you 100%? Like I said, I told people I'm going to get the vaccine, but I'm gonna be doing it scared because I don't trust the system as I should. And I do believe that this, it seems like it's been very thoroughly tested. And what I will say is that, I like the fact that the presidents are going to go on air and take it in front of people. I mean, I think that all that's smart, but it's going to take a while before it gets to people like me and you.
Hate to interrupt, but like I
Yeah.
saw somebody in regards to that. The president was talking about taking it, and then somebody was like, "Nah, son, I need to go read the vial to make sure like that ain't no placebo shit, right?
It's
Because
the same thing.
I don't trust you guys either. Like, man, listen,
Make
I'm
sure they're not taking a B12 shot.
right. He's like, man, that's vitamin C. Knock it off. That ain't no,
You ain't even shooting yourself with nothing. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I I I think people should respect people who are scared because we have a history, right?
It,
And that's what annoys me is people act like people that are scared there's something wrong. No, like if a dog bites you 3 times, you're gonna be scared walking into the damn SPCA. Like it's life. Life deals with us that way.
but like the comment that was made on your page about not using first generation Apple products, it's just like no, because once again, Apple, one of the biggest companies in the world, time and time again, that first phone sucks, and then they'd be like, "Oh man, we got the bug fixed now, though." And I'm just like,
Right.
"Yeah, I bought this first thing that I could use as a paperweight now."
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, we gotta wait and see. But then they're saying that they're gonna give it to healthcare instructors. My friend's sister says she's a nurse, and she says she's not messing with it.
Yeah, and
I don't
that,
know if it's mandatory or not, but she said she is not taking the first
I
generation of
know a
this.
couple nurses who feel that way as well, and it's just like because especially for them, they're looking at stuff every day that probably has them shaking to their core, and it's just and you know nobody wants to feel like the guinea pig. You
Absolutely. And
know,
they,
nobody,
and what she's saying is the PPE that they've been wearing to keep them safe thus far for the last 9 months has kept her safe. So I'm good with this until I'm sure y'all right with that.
right?
I'm gonna just keep wearing my PPE right here.
And it's like like I'm not trying to put nobody else's health at jeopardy, but it's like, but if you guys want to take the first generation, I'm just looking at you very closely to make sure you don't have no mutations. Now, if it's a mutation, because I've just been watching a bunch of X-Men with my kids, if it's a mutation that gives us powers and shit, then maybe I'll take it. But other than that, I don't know, man. Not the first time. Eventually, I'm definitely going to take a vaccine. Eventually, I'm at least I'm personally comfortable is good to go. Because I mean, listen, we need to
Kind
get
of
out.
have to.
We need to get outside at some point. We can't keep doing.
Yeah. No,
We
no, this
can't
guy,
keep
he wrote on his page, they were like, people keep asking me why I'm gonna get the vaccine. And he's like, I want to go outside. I mean, I'm just like I want to go outside. I'm ready to like go to concerts and stuff and travel again and just like see family and hug people's necks and
yeah, no,
all
it's like
that. So I'm gonna get the vaccine eventually.
because the main thing for me that I'm missing is like well, like not too long before the whole world went to shit. Like I took up jujitsu, and it's just like jujitsu has you right on each other, and it's just like I'm not doing that with a bunch of sick people. So like I need to be able to get the vaccine so I can go back to wrestling,
No,
motherfucker.
that's what I told people. I can't work out the way I used to like to work out. I mean,
Right, right.
um, yeah, but I really feel sorry for my friends who have relatives, like all you guys out there who haven't seen your parents and grandparents haven't seen grandkids forever. Like both my parents are deceased, so I'm not dealing with that. But I feel so sorry for you guys. Like my heart goes out to you because it has got to be so hard to go this long.
Yeah, no, because like at least like we've rectified that since. But at first, like my mom couldn't see my daughter because like my mom actually had COVID. So it's just like, there's the being safe part, but it's also like, no, you were actually sick, so I need to keep you over there. Like I miss you, mom, but I need to keep you over there for a second,
Yeah,
especially this brand new baby that ain't got nothing, like no shots
no
yet.
immunity.
You know, so but
And
yeah,
it,
no.
it really messes those up. You heard about Hawaii? They get jacked up over there because a lot of Hawaiians don't have the same immunity we have over here. They're not dealing with the same garbage, and their immunity isn't built up. So when they get it, they get it easily.
Which by the way, that reminds me, somebody said that it's like talking about New York. He's like, hey man, if you went to a public school in New York in the '90s, because we had an asbestos problem back then, and just like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I remember
he's
that.
like, "Hey, COVID ain't gonna get you." I'm just like, I don't advise that, but it's funny. It's funny.
You're good. Yeah, you have it built up. So what else is going on? What's on your mind going on from this week?
Man, not much for me. Like I said, I've just been binge watching movies with the kids. I've been trying to put them on to every superhero that I thought was cool growing up, and you know, taking with it. We did a bunch of things. Like I took them through Star Wars, then I took them through the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I've taken them through all the X-Men stuff. So I'm just trying to systematically go through, all the things that I thought were cool, and that's even including all Spider-Man cartoons. And just like, because listen, I was a comic nerd growing up, so I'm just trying to bestow that upon them too.
Yeah. My son, we had to drive him 6 hours to take the SAT.
Oh, wow. Wait, really? Why? Why is that?
They've canceled it everywhere, and so there was nowhere to
Oh,
take
okay,
it. And
okay.
so colleges aren't making you have it, but he tests well, so he needed that to round out his thing. Like that was it would be
Got
a help for
it.
him. So I'm like, you gonna take this, you gonna take this thing. So it's like Marino City was the only place that had it like available.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I saw like especially like New York has the standardized tests, and I
Hmm.
know that they effectively canceled them. So then I don't
Yeah,
really,
all of them have been
I
canceled.
don't
Like
know,
like
I don't
three
know
times.
what that means in terms of moving kids to the next grades and what have you. I don't know. Like I hope it's not a situation where first off, I don't want kids unfairly left back. Let's not get that misconstrued. But then I also don't want kids, you know, maybe moving ahead that might have needed, more help because I
Oh,
like
they do that anyway. They,
I'm
I
I'm
used to teach English. They
I'm
move
home
kids anyway, particularly if they play sports.
because even though my wife has to work in the office, I'm home working and then have the boys with me for remote learning every day, and I can just tell from just listening in that the kids definitely aren't getting the same.
Oh, they said the math skills are terrible. Yeah, y'all who are doing remote learning too and working. I mean, I just gotta send love to everybody for all the stuff. Like my kids are grown. Like I have a college age and a high
Yeah.
school senior. I do nothing. Like I can't even tell you what's happening. I'm at the age now where I'm just like, what them grades looking like. That's me.
No,
What
like
them grades looking
I'm
like.
definitely tutoring, especially when it
Yeah,
comes to
no.
the math part. Definitely tutoring, and it's funny. Like, but and the schools are learning as they go along too. Because like one of the newest things they did is try to give everybody, all the kids, headphones because they realize that not all the kids have headphones. And the same thing here in the house. Like we're all in the same room, both of them have their laptop or their tablets going on at the same time. So I'm hearing two different schools plus what I'm working on. So it's just like there's a lot of noise jumbled in my head. It's craziness.
Craziness. Well, it's the very nice thing is this has been a calm week in politics. We have nothing to say there, I don't think.
Yeah,
We
no, just more lawsuits getting thrown at.
How much
Oh,
money does that man has raised so much money.
the two things that are on my mind in regards to that really quickly.
Mhm.
I had to laugh at Wisconsin.
Oh,
He spent $3 million on a recount in Wisconsin, and he had less votes this time.
at the end. I know. I loved it.
Or rather, I don't know if it was less votes, but Biden won by more votes. That's funny.
Yes. Yes.
And also the people, the so-called experts who've been testifying with Giuliani are
Woo!
hilarious. Hilarious.
That girl was so lit the other day when she was testifying.
Did you see
Oh
the
my
Did
gosh.
you see the Indian woman who
No.
there was an Indian woman who said this was her case for voter fraud. Some people say I'm paraphrasing, but it's kind of a direct quote. Some people say all Indian people look alike. I think all Chinese people look alike. So, what's to stop a random chow from going into the voting center and voting on behalf of another chow? I was like, she said this out loud in front of people?
Like she thought about it and words came out of her mouth.
My wife was talking about it earlier today because it's like, obviously, like, I have no love lost for Rudy Giuliani, but it's like, no, seriously, somebody needs to get him.
No, so that's what I said. Like, we need friends. Like when we lose it, like you know how like when you were young and maybe you drink too much or smoke too much or you were acting crazy with a significant other or whatever. You always had that friend that will pull you back, like yo, let's just go home, or you tripping, you bugging. We need those even as adults. Like Juliana needs somebody to say, yeah, bruh, like you
I wish he had my boy because my boy he only uses he'll call you boss man, and he will only call you boss man when you were doing something stupid. So the minute I heard boss man, I knew I was doing something. Hey, boss man.
I
You right.
like that.
I'm tripping. I'm gonna go sit over here. You right.
Yeah. You need somebody to pull you up. Everybody right now, on top of rediscovering what you love, I want everybody to make sure they have somebody who will tell them like, yeah, no. Because we all know we look at people and say, somebody doesn't love her enough because she came out in that or
The
whatever.
only other thing to that is Trump is slowly changing the message in the sense that, okay, I'm never going to outright say I lost this one.
No.
I'm just going to say that he won from cheating. So now I'm going to run 4 years from now. That's the newest thing that he's trying to say, that I'm going to run 4 years from
And
now.
he has raised $200 million
Since election day.
post election day.
Yeah.
Post election day.
Yeah.
So he gets to keep something like 75% of that. So he's going to pay off his debt.
I was just about to say, I hope all you Trump supporters know that is going directly to the IRS. Okay.
For the first time, he's going to pay more taxes than he ever has.
I paid so many taxes.
Bigly.
I think it was the biggest taxes that have ever been paid in America.
And it was just beautiful. It
was the most magnificent taxes.
Well, Elsie, thanks for taking the time and hollering at us. Tell people the name again of the album. Like the writing, it's so obvious that you're a writer. When I was listening, and it's so obvious you're a writer. The lyrics, do we call them lyrics?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. The lyrics are like great. I didn't know if it was. I was like dating myself or being.
No, it's still. But yeah, so the name, the artist name is L. Charlemagne. So if you find it, like if you could just type in L. Charlemagne, you'll find it, or L. Charlemagne, whichever one. And Charlemagne, as in the historical king Charlemagne. So it's like, I know there's Charlemagne the God. He spells Charlemagne wrong, so don't try to spell it like Charlemagne the God. That's not the way to do it. But yeah, L. Charlemagne, and the album is called Mastermind. I produced it, I mixed it, I mastered it, and I did all that in between dad stuff. So yeah.
Well, congratulations, my brother. I'm proud.
Anywhere that music streams, you will find it. You will find it anywhere. So thank you.
Well, I'm proud. Congratulations.
Much appreciated.
And holla at the rest of y'all soon. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right.